So just going straight into it today, there's a bunch more on the Vince McMahon allegations that have been coming out recently, and these are all coming from Vice. Now, obviously, the sort of Vince McMahon allegations got thrown into the public spotlight after the Janelle Grant lawsuit against him, accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking as well. Now, that's not the only allegation against him in all of these things. There's a federal case against Vince McMahon that also includes a WWE contractor who McMahon allegedly sent unsolicited nude photos to and sexually harassed, a former WWE wrestler who said McMahon coerced her into giving him oral sex, a former WWE referee, Rita Chatterton, who publicly accused McMahon of raping her, a spa manager employee who said McMahon sexually assaulted her at a Southern California resort, and a former WWE employee who alleged the head of relations at the time, John Laurinaitis, demoted her after she broke off an affair with him. But that's not all as well, because there's also the historic allegations from former WWE superstar Ashley Massaro, and this is where all this information is coming from. Now, she claims serious sexual harassment from Vince McMahon, which we will get into in a little bit as well. But she also accused WWE of covering up a rape. She obviously later tragically went on to commit suicide. So this is all coming from a sworn affidavit that she wrote just before she committed suicide. So it's all coming from Vice again, like I say, and this is revealed that in the sworn affidavit that her lawyer released in 2019, which was just after her death, she said that she was injected with a paralyzing drug and raped by someone representing himself as an army doctor while on tour with WWE in 2006. And it's also said that top executives within the company, including Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, told her not to talk about it to preserve the company's relationship with the military. Now, the quote that she put in it from Vince McMahon said that basically to not let one bad experience ruin the good work that they were doing. Now, since then, John Laurinaitis, obviously, he's been named in the Janelle Grant lawsuit as a defendant in that as well. And his lawyer has released a statement specifically about this incident, saying that any allegations that Mr. Laurinaitis helped to cover up an alleged rape allegation is an outright lie. Johnny, like most upper-level management, at some time became aware of the allegations and ensured all proper WWE protocols were followed, including privacy for the alleged victim. We object to the use of the term cover-up, as no such plan or plot ever took place to hide or assist in the alleged rape. Now, this statement itself, obviously saying that WWE and John Laurinaitis weren't in some kind of cover-up, kind of goes directly against many WWE statements prior to this. So in 2016, Ashley joined a lawsuit brought against WWE by former employees seeking damages related to the effects of concussions. And in a filing in that lawsuit, she said that she had been sexually assaulted in Kuwait and that Ferdinand Rios, a WWE doctor, had reported the incident to WWE executives, who soon thereafter met with Massaro to apologize for their negligence, but persuaded her that it would be best not to report this to the appropriate authorities. Now, in a filing the next month, WWE released a statement saying that the claim is a stale and baseless allegation and denied Massaro had ever reported a sexual assault to anyone affiliated within WWE, saying she had been heard telling others that a doctor had done inappropriate pelvic exam. Now, her affidavit was done in court under oath to a federal judge, and it obviously goes on to detail in extreme detail the actual incident itself, and is a genuinely harrowing read. So I won't get into too much of the information from that because it's grim reading. But in the end, it says that she spoke to a WWE doctor who questioned her about the incident, and through that she agreed to tell him what had happened as long as he didn't tell anyone else. Now, subsequently, the statement says that he informed Mr. McMahon, and she was then summoned to a meeting with McMahon, Laurinaitis, WWE production chief Kevin Dunn at the time, and other men that she didn't recognize but believed were to be company executives or lawyers. And in that meeting, she states that Vince led the meeting with these men and asked me to recount what happened in Q8. Then he said it was not in the best interest of the WWE for me to take that information about my attack public. As she was completely traumatized at that point, she just agreed to this. but it was clear that they had already had a conversation about this and that they had reached their own decision prior to consulting with her. This was not a debate, but rather Vince instructing her to keep this confidential. So obviously the statement from John Laurinaitis goes completely against the WWE statements, because he admits in this that WWE management did know this. Now, the WWE statement at the time said that at no time was Vince McMahon or the management of WWE ever informed by Ashley Massaro or anybody else that she had been sexually assaulted, drugged, raped, or sodomized by a military doctor with a nurse standing guard while on Goodwill tour in the 2007 US military bases in Kuwait. At no time was there ever a meeting with Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, John Laurinaitis, or other company executives in which she told them of such a claim and was instructed to keep quiet. And that has kind of been proven to be a complete lie by, well, both the sworn affidavit from Ashley Massaro, but now John Laurinaitis himself, someone who was said to be in that meeting, said that WWE did, in fact, know of the allegations against them. Now, before we get into the sort of sexual assault side, sexual harassment side of this, I will point out that, as usual with these stories, we have the RAIN donation link to the side of the video or down below if you're on mobile. So please do consider giving to RAIN. They are a fantastic charity based in the US who run the sexual abuse hotline for any victims of sexual abuse, sexual assault, to ring freely at any time to get fair, impartial advice and information, or just to talk to someone in a sort of private setting. They also have a lot of information on their website that you can go to check them out, and just know that if you or anybody that you know has been affected by any kind of sexual abuse or sexual assault or anything like that, there is help out there through amazing charities like RAIN. So please do consider donating to them if you can, or just checking out their website to see all the information that they have available.
Yeah, so just on the back of that, now we'll go into the previously unreleased statement that really, well, it accuses Vince McMahon of preying on female WWE wrestlers, and this was a statement that was given by Massaro to her lawyers, and it was a part of the sworn affidavit within that lawsuit, like about WWE's handling of concussions, that whole thing, and apparently around the time that this was going down, it was stated in the affidavit that the thing that you just said there, like not to mention the whole everything that went down, because it would affect the way potentially their relationship with the army was going at that point. The claim from Massaro within this is that, yeah, McMahon preyed on female talent, and this was something that they ultimately left out of the affidavit because they didn't feel it was relevant to central claims in the lawsuit in which they were representing her. This is obviously from her attorneys, which obviously this lawsuit at the time was concerning concussions and everything else that was going on there. Within the unreleased statement, it alleges that with the clear intention of ruining her career, like obviously, sorry, I've done. It's a lot to kind of unpack this. So McMahon started writing promos, with the clear intentioning of ruining her career, so promos for Massaro, and this was in the wake of Massaro rejecting his advances. So that's the whole thing in itself. There was an experience she recounts in the statement that says that Vince was trying to get her to go to his hotel room one night late on, and she obviously rejected that. And I'll read off like little bits. Well, I'll read off the full statement now, just to give you the full information on it. Obviously, it's a bit of a hard read, but we'll go for it. So this was published by Vice News. Says, during my time with the WWE, I had observed Vince McMahon making out with other divas in the locker room, but he never paid attention to me, and I assumed I was not his type. This changed after my Playboy cover was released. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to fly on the company jet and stay at the same hotels as the executives for a period of time, so that I could get home faster to spend more time with my daughter. On one of these occasions, Vince was attempting to get me alone with him in his hotel room late at night, and I felt extraordinarily uncomfortable. He began calling the hotel room phone and my cell phone non-stop. Up. I called Kevin Dunn to explain the situation, and he said I should tell Vince I was not feeling well and would see him on TV the next day, so I did. Immediately after that night, Vince started writing my promos for me. Vince does not write promos for female stars. That is the job of the creative department, and he certainly wouldn't have, under any normal circumstances, written a promo for me. But he did, and the promos were written with the clear intention of ruining my career. I brought the first script Vince wrote for me to the WWE employee in charge of creative at the time, Michael Hayes, and he said, "You're not saying this, who the expletive wrote this?" And I told him that Vince did, and he said, well kid, these are the breaks, is what he said. So meaning that Vince wanted to end my career and destroy my reputation on my way out. He's known for this type of behavior and also did this to Redacted upon her departure from WWE. In addition, after that night, each time I walked by him, he would make vulgar sexual comments that were clearly designed to make me uncomfortable. So yeah, that's the full statement, which is just, again, just nothing should surprise at this point, I guess, after everything that's come out over the last couple of weeks, but just an awful read. And yeah, again, I don't have much to add on top of it. Like, obviously we've got this fundraiser going for the video. Just donate if you can. If anybody you know has been affected by sexual assault, sexual abuse, sexual harassment in this case, that kind of thing, yeah, reach out and do whatever you can for these people in your life. But it's just awful, and you feel like even more's coming. It's just one of those things at this point. You feel like we're not going to go a week without another allegation or story coming out, and it's just harrowing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we say, but yeah, we'll just keep you informed as we go along with all of this and everything else that comes out. But there will definitely be more that comes from this lawsuit and the federal lawsuit and everything else that is going on surrounding it. And yeah, it's just harrowing things. So yeah, the Rain donation box is there. So please do consider giving to them, or just if you, like we say, if you or anyone you know has been involved in or like a victim of any kind of sexual abuse or sexual assault, there is help out there, so make sure you can go and find it. But yeah, moving over to something slightly lighter to end the video, back into the sort of normal world of wrestling, let's say. So SmackDown was last night, and then obviously the WrestleMania press conference was before that, and kind of blew WrestleMania up in a big pile of smoke and chaos, and it was all kind of crazy. But they've kind of followed on from that on SmackDown last night, and it has been revealed that Seth Rollins will be having a championship match at WrestleMania, and he will be against the winner of the Elimination Chamber match. Now they also announced a kind of mini tournament to find out who was going to be in the Elimination Chamber. So sort of facing off against each other, the competitors will be Randy Orton, Bronson Reed, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, AJ Styles, The Miz, Bobby Lashley, Ivar, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and LA Knight. And they had the first match of that on SmackDown last night, where Drew McIntyre beat AJ Styles after a kind of distraction from LA Knight. So Drew McIntyre is the first person into the chamber match, and whoever wins the chamber, obviously going down in Australia, will be going on to face Seth Rollins, and it will be one of those 12 people. So let us know in the comments below who you would like it to be.
Yeah, exciting times. A lot of big old star-studded matches there, and The Miz is there as well. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun old couple of weeks getting into Elimination Chamber, but massive records have also been broken yet again, because it's just WWE in 2023-24. Like, they just break records, don't they? They're just easy. So they had the big old kickoff event that happened, the press conference. I don't think anything newsworthy happened there at that event, but apparently a lot of people watched it. I don't know. So obviously this was on Thursday night. This was at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and WWE actually smashed a massive social media record here, because this presser brought in a staggering 100 million social media views in just 12 hours, almost as many as one of our videos, what this video will probably do on YouTube. So yeah, they're doing all right. They're going to try and catch up. On top of this, they noted that over 47 million viewers tuned in live for the event across social platforms. That's pretty cool. So yeah, they're killing it right now when it comes to social media and that kind of stuff. Triple H then got on, he arrived at SmackDown yesterday and reiterated that the main event of WrestleMania is going to be Cody versus Roman. And if you don't like that, it doesn't matter, Doesn't matter what you like. It just doesn't matter. He said that. He shot those like shots over there, the Rock, and they're now going to be on SmackDown next week from the looks of it, The Rock and Roman Reigns. So it's exciting times. WrestleMania is hotting up, and I know there's a lot of terrible stories out there right now in regards to the wrestling business and WWE and all these kind of things, but in terms of WrestleMania, like there's that as well. It's a difficult time right now for being a wrestling fan. I believe it's just a conflicting time, but if you can find some joy within this industry right now, WrestleMania is shaping up to look pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sort of, whatever you think about the pure chaos going on around the sort of press conference and that Rock return and the sort of Cody switching around slightly and then choosing different matches, whatever you think of all of that that's going on, you cannot deny that it has got people talking, and obviously, like we say here, it got people watching, so it's going to be very interesting. I think the biggest thing of this is it's this chaotic, and it's only like, we're only just into February. There's still like almost 2 full months until WrestleMania. There's a long time to go to stretch this story out, and it's, I assume, just going to be even more chaotic as we get on the road to WrestleMania further.
That's how we like it. That's how we like it.
But that is it. Thank you very much for joining us. You can follow us over on Twitter. You can follow me at Phil My Chambers, and you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
But most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day.
Bye bye.